Over 30 years ago, I was a volunteer with United Way on the Funds Distribution Committee, and Habitat was one of the agencies that my team had to review. So I went and visited, and we looked at their financials. So that was in the late 80s. That was my first involvement with Habitat. I became the executive director of United Way. So rather than just reviewing the agency as part of one of the lists that I was responsible for, I got to know the board members, got to see the impact because they were a United Way agency, and have always been a fan. And then when I went to work for Mississippi Power, after Katrina, we and Southern Company donated to Habitat to help our citizens rebuild. And I can't go wrong in investing my time, effort, energy, and money in Habitat because I get a return on my investment. We built a home over in Pascagoula. So that was my first build, was doing that, and that was through Mississippi Power and working through the donation that we gave. But the young man whose grandmother that we were building the house for, that was just rewarding to be a part of that, to look over there and see his bucket truck next door and to realize that that was his grandmother's house, and to get some of our Mississippi Power employees involved to work on a lineman's grandmother's house, and that was just serendipitous.
And she was just such a character. She was
she was having fun.
Yeah.
And it's fun to go by and say, okay, that house was right over there.
Yeah.
Well, and it's, even if you don't have that connection where you can connect a bunch of dots and get a personal connection, you'll develop it on the build or with the people that are involved. It's always just kind of it's very professional when you're building stuff, but it's also a lot of fun, and people don't take each other so seriously that it's not rewarding. You're not under stress. You're doing something for somebody that's going to be good, and you want it to be good for them also. And so you don't have to connect dots to make it personal. It just kind of becomes that way. For me, the model of Habitat is something I really like because you require the people that you're helping to have some skin in the game. They have to work, they have to be part of the process, and it's not just here, have keys to a house and go off. They have ownership, so to be part of building that equity in the house and giving to somebody who needs help, but they want to help climbing the ladder, they don't just want help standing there.
Right.
And it's rewarding to help in those types of efforts. And that's why I still like being part of it. I like the model.
And to tag along with that, it's a hand up, it's not a handout. And the fact that the citizens become part of that community, the homeowners are part of a community. They're not just there for a short period of time. They've invested, their friends have invested. I know I've worked on a couple of homes where the homeowners had relatives out there working. All of that sweat equity reduces their equity that they have to come up with, and I appreciate that. It's empowering to help them transition from something that they were not necessarily proud of to something that they could be proud of for their family, for their children, and then to be a role model in their community.